semi bar match between Rochester and between Deadeye and Roger Bowker.
Walter Ray has been coming into a lot of strikes.
Roger Bowker, who has finished higher in the standings than Walter Ray, has decided that he wants to finish on lane 33. In other words, he will finish the 10th frame first in this match. And the winner of this match obviously goes on to bowl David Traber for the championship.
And the very interested spectator watching this match is probably Ricky Ward. As if Walter Ray wins this, Ricky Ward is in next week's tournament. As Roger Bowker leads the solid 10, opening up on lane 34.
Roger, another outstanding spare shooter. The top players on the tour, I think, Brian, are all good spare shooters. They very seldom miss. You don't, those are the guys that fill the frames in between the strikes with spares are the guys that lead tournaments.
Yeah, nowadays it's kind of unknown because there's so many strikes being thrown. But
he missed it. He stuck in the approach. He wasn't even looking down there.
Did you see that? He went around front of the ball return to shoot that spare.
It's kind of interesting he would do that. We're going to take a look at the style of Roger Bowker, and it's kind of unique. You see him holding the ball out in front only with the right hand. The left hand down by his side. And he says the reason he does this is he can start the ball on line, swing it down the line he wants the ball to go on. If he uses his left hand in it, he tends to push the ball out to the right. And here's that spare shot, and the ball just never skidded as he expected it to. And now he's a little bit confused mentally right now. He missed the spare, an easy spare for Roger Bowker, the 10 pin, and it looks like he's a little flustered.
Yeah, they kind of unnerved him a little bit, right?
No question. Tough spare here, the 2-8. How would you shoot this week, Brian?
Roger's probably going to throw at it pretty straight. He's probably just going to go up the boards pretty straight.
Off the strike lane, kind of?
Yeah, a little bit. He'll move right.
Trouble? No.
Yeah. 0 for 2, and Ricky Ward is kind of liking this, I think.
Yeah, he's leading the cheers right now.
What we're talking about is if Ricky Ward, if Walter Ray Williams should win this match, Ricky Ward gets into the $250,000 AMF Classic next week.
Dick Weber Classic, right?
We're going to show you some of those numbers in a minute here. Walter Ray really aggressive. You see him running that out for it, hardly left his hand.
He can lock this match up in the first half of the game, and he got 3 or 4 in a row right away.
He also knows that Roger Bowker is capable of going right off the sheet also and shooting 258. Even though he has open, 18 in the second, 250 is still a possibility, and he's done that all week. That's the reason Roger's in the top 5 bowlers in the second tournament, because he could shoot the big numbers.
And we see some of the people that are eligible for the AMF Dick Weber Classic, led by Norm Duke. And Ryan Goebel there. You're looking forward to that next week, right?
I like to see that. Yeah.
And right there, David Traber, we'll see in the next match, is also eligible. And Ricky Ward is hanging on to that last spot right now. He's saying, get him, Walter.
I can tell Walter's on that left lane and started hooking. When he first tried to hit it, he moved in a little bit and tried to hook it a little more, but that didn't work for him. You can tell he moved a little right, sped it up, and I think that's pretty vintage Walter.
So he changed ball speeds really more.
Just, he's going with that a little straighter at him, a little more power, and I think it's helped him.
Well, I think Bowker's going to get something going. They moved in on the lane, and I talked to Roger before we went on the air, Jack, right after the practice, and he said, the shot is moving very quickly, and it might be that I'll have to play inside, and he wasn't very happy about that because he qualified to this point, 42 games bowling out near the channel and throwing the big hook. Now he's trying to play inside where he's not comfortable. And you can see where he's standing there, Brian. Look at this.
Yeah, he's getting way deep, laying it down as far left as he can possibly go.
And he's on the board.
That's Bowker.
Playing up to the crowd a little bit. Now he's going after another bowling ball, something else that he feels he can maybe get in play, hopefully.
Well, this place notoriously carries the best when you can play outside and keep the ball at a straighter angle to the pocket. And the guys who've had to move in a little bit, you're gonna lose some carry.
How does Band-Aid brand Pro Heal heal wounds 60% better? The hydrocolloid gel pad seals the wound.
Well, we'll find out if he makes it work next frame. Then he might say, why didn't I start with that ball? But right now, one shot does not a game make. Walter Ray still the guy to beat. Strike, spare, strike, making good shots.
And we see his TV record right there. Right now, he's just trying to get over 500, and he gets a double and takes a bigger lead. What does he have, by 32 right now? Yeah.
Well, you can hear him at the foul line. Like you mentioned earlier, he does have a microphone on, so we can hear what he's saying. And right there, all that came out of his mouth was, Gary. He knew he'd hit the pocket, just whether or not he was going to get the 10 pin.
Back on lane 33, the only lane that's given him any trouble at all.
They believe they deserve.
And as Brian has said, he's got it figured out now.
You can tell Walter's got that, he shifted gears, and he's just throwing the high heater now, and he's just jamming it in the pocket every hole shot.
But it is somewhat reassuring.
Well, now or never, don't you think?
Right, yeah, he's trailing by 42 pins. We're in the 5th frame, and he's got to put 2 or 3 strikes in a row together.
These are the moments few can fall between, but very important.
There, and carries. He's had great success here at Marcel's. I asked him
Bowker's still
why.
striking. He's not out yet.
Because basically I feel like I'm at home. The lanes look pretty good here. It's what I grew up on. It's what I've always bowled on. And everybody's going hard and straight, but I'm probably going to be circling through the gutter and getting it back.
Well, that was before he practiced. And found out that that shot wasn't necessarily here today.
Well, he's basically using the same arc. He's just moved everything left. Don't you think, Brian? He's just kind of moved everything left?
Yeah, I think he's searching for a little stronger back end.
Wow. Rogers not dead yet.
Bowker made it
That's 3 in a
3
row. He's cut that lead down to 22. Can he hang on? Well, we'll find out if he can. You stay with us right after this. Lead on ESPN as Carol Giannotti attempts to defend her title in the LPBT Hammer Eastern Open from Baltimore, Maryland, tomorrow night at 12:30 a.m. Well, I think Rogers got Walter Ray's attention at least.
Mm-hmm. Those girls stay up late to bowl, don't they?
Uh-oh.
Well, kind of backed up.
Well, I think what Brian
like
said is very apropos. He's actually really overthrowing the ball now a little bit.
After the break of the commercial, it's real easy to throw one too slow. And Walter did it last game once when he left the 2.45 after a commercial, and he's done it again. He's just tried to keep the speed up and let it go a little.
So he was thinking about that. Maybe he just kind of forced it a little bit.
Here's another look at that, Brian. What do you see here? Anything?
Well, he looks pretty good through the line. It just looks like he really extended hard. And when he did that, he just got it out just a little bit farther than he wanted to.
Well, that's all forward roll, too. There's no side
that's
roll.
what I was noticing also. The ball had end over end, and it just doesn't hook very much when you do that.
Well, he's gone to the Dick Weber frozen rope type shot here. I'll tell you.
He can't get that 4.57 out like Dick Weber. Nobody can do that.
Roger can get right back in this with 2 more strikes.
No question.
You guys have said how it looks there's more oil today though than there has been throughout the week, and you can tell that where everybody's been playing all week.
Well, it's down to 11.
It's definitely tighter, and that's why Rogers moved in on lane 34.
Like I said,
he's looking for that fresh back end that nobody's playing on, so his ball will hit a lot
Holding
harder.
his weight back against the hedge.
And our Pro-Am winner this week, Todd Bickford. So, I don't know what that was worth, do you?
What, Pro-Am?
Yeah.
No, I don't, Mike. I'm not here when they have the Pro-Am, unfortunately. I just get here for the match play. I get here for the top 24 and get to watch the guys that are bowling really good.
Yeah, they tell us it was worth $2,000, so that's a nice little check there. To cut it within 1 pin. Wow! He hasn't missed with that ball.
That was a great shot.
Bowker's in the title.
Well, this is what he did. I mentioned earlier he might go off the sheet. Well, he went 1 more frame before he started this string, but this is what he's done all throughout the week. That's why he's in 2nd place going into the televised portion of the tournament. He was capable of stringing large strings as well. And that's another reason why Walter Ray wanted to get something going and build up a lead on this guy, because he knew what Roger could do in this situation.
And that ball kind of fell back at the pocket, too.
Definitely, that right lane looks like it's a little tighter, tougher to get the ball to hook.
I mean, that shot looked very familiar to me.
You got the 5 out, Mike.
True, that's true. At the 7th pin. Has it.
Well, Ricky Ward is starting to get nervous again, I think.
Yes, right. He said, Walter, come on, boy. You're my horse. You're right here. 1 pin. We're in the 9th frame. The difference is, Roger's working on 5 in a row.
Well, Roger possible 248, and Walter Ray still a possibility of 269. So 239, Earl. 239, excuse me.
Good.
But Roger Bowker really holds his fate in his own hands. What he does now, these next couple of frames, determine what's going to happen in this match.
If he doesn't strike out to lock him out, it'll be interesting to see if Walter moves over a little bit in the 10th frame.
This shot right here is pretty important. He gets this one right here, and the pressure's back on Walter's shoulders, I think.
Well, he takes a lead for the first time in the match if he can strike here. Oh, did he throw that well?
Extremely well. I'll tell you what, if he should lose, it doesn't look like he's going to. I'm speaking of Mr. Bowker. It'll come back to the first two frames when he missed two easy spares. And here's another look at that last shot, Brian. It looked pretty good to me.
I don't with that one. If he didn't miss those spares, though, he may not have switched balls, Earl.
That's a good point. Good point, yeah. So sometimes circumstances dictate what you're going to do, whether you like it or not. You switch balls trying to find something, and you fall into something. And Roger definitely fell into something good right here.
Up by 9 to make it 19 with the first strike in the 10th.
Oh, stubborn.
Boy, that pin kick flying off the wall, but it fell a little short and off the back of the pin deck. Walter knows the score.
Well, Roger does too, and what's important right now in Roger's mind, okay, I didn't get the strike, and here's another look at it. I didn't get the strike. You see the head pin go all the way to the wall and come back and just miss the pin. But I've got to pick up the spare and then get a full count, because count is important now.
Well, he's turning the ball more at the spare. It seems like
he's so deep at that spare. He's been deep all week shooting that spare, but it's almost scary.
Did he move around in front of the ball?
I don't think he knows it's the 10th frame. He sat down. He didn't even know it was the 10th frame. You see that?
Yeah. I don't think he got it. I'm not sure he got all the way in front of it all week, but
today is a chance
I thought he was balling the other lane there for a minute.
Looked like a Mark Williams shot sometimes. But counts important. All right, 227. Walter Ray has to have at least the first 9 in the spare.
9 spare.
Well, Walter's had trouble his last two shots on this lane.
Well, if he misses, he'll probably miss high, because that's what he did last time when they needed it.
Well,
we could have a tie.
We could have a tie. Comes down now after 42 games. Walter Ray's bowled 2 games on television asking for a re-rack, and it comes down to 1 shot.
Yeah, and again, you know, I know this is not important in Walter Ray's mind, but it is in Ricky Ward's mind. The $250,000 that AMF is putting up next week is very important to all the bowlers on the tour, and Ricky Ward is sweating this shot just as much as Walter Ray Williams is. If he strikes, he wins. If he gets 9 spare, he wins. If Ricky Ward's in that little right. Oh, that's a winner.
Well, he's got to make it to get up. He's got to make it.
That's right. He's got to make it. If he misses it, we have a tie.
Well, what happens then?
2-frame roll-off, 9th and 10th frame.
Well, he hasn't missed a 10-pin yet today, but this is for the win and to move on.
And Roger's going to look back. If he loses, remember those first 2 frames.
You got it.
Turns his back on it. Walter Ray showing his experience and his mettle.
Wow, that was really close.
And they love it.